There is now an added ability to export the soundtracks as WAV files without having to render QuickTime. So the soundtracks can be imported individually or merged into one sound. Let me show you where that command is under File, and then Export, and then Soundtracks. And right now what you'll find is this is going to save it as a waveform. You have these options of processing the soundtracks individually or merging all the soundtracks. You have sample rates from 8 kilohertz to 48 kilohertz that you can choose from. You could choose 8-bit or 16-bit depth, and you can choose to have mono or 2 stereo channels. When you're exporting your project to Toon Boom Animate or Animate Pro, there are now 3 new options for you to export and control your sound export. As you can see here from an example, I made sure that I have 3 different soundtracks so that you can see the way that these new options come into play. The 3 new options you'll see in a moment. To export the project to Toon Boom Animate or Animate Pro, I'm going to go to File, I'm going to come down to Export, I'm going to click on to Animate, and as I do, I have a choice over here under the sounds to keep the original files, which means that if it's an MP3 or a WAV or whatever, it's going to output the scenes, each individual scene, with the original sound file that it came with. Or the option is to process each of the soundtracks along the Toon Boom track, like it here is in the project, individually. Or the third option is that you can merge all of those soundtracks into one soundtrack. So I'm going to demonstrate. If we say keep the original files, I'm going to press Export, and it's going to chug along and create a folder for each one of my scenes. When I click on one of these scenes, when I see the audio, because we chose keep the original files, we can now see the names of my original files. One was an MP3 and one was a WAV file. So now I'm going to go to Process Soundtracks individually. Same thing, I'm going to press Export, it opens up, and now when I look in the audio folder, instead of showing the original files, the original sound files with their original names and their own individual formats like MP3, now all of my soundtracks are exported individually, and they're in the same folder that I exported everything else. So I'm going to press OK, and now I'm going to go to Merge All Soundtracks. I'm going to output it again. And this time when I output it, I'm just going to open up one of the folders to show you. There's just simply one soundtrack where it combined all of the 3 soundtracks that I had into one. So this gives you all the different options that you could want when you're exporting your Toon Boom Storyboard Pro project over to Toon Boom Animate or Animate Pro.